Stay and change nothing. So we worry, we complain, we blame, we get angry. It's everybody else's fault, and it's all in here, and it all comes out like, yeah? And then the third thing is to stay and change what you can. So taking action, having discussions, writing the pros and cons, living to our values. You have that choice. You can say, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to make the best of my situation. And I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong. There isn't, because what's right for one person isn't necessarily right for another. We have to do what's right for us. But if you do choose to stay and not change the circumstances or not, I mean, I had one lady and she was, her husband was very ill and she just felt she had no life because she just looks after her husband the whole time. Why me? How did I end up with this invalid? I can't get out, I can't this and I can't that. And I said, you can. I said, you can leave him. How dare you? I can't, I couldn't possibly. And I was like, yes, you can. The government will look after him, they'll give him a carer, he'll be put in a home. I mean, there's ways. No. And I said, well, you're telling me that you're choosing to stay. Oh, so I am. I couldn't have someone else look after him. And I said, oh, other people don't know how to make a bed and do ironing? Yeah, but they wouldn't do it like me. And and she said, well, he's my husband and I love him and I've been with him. I said, you love him? See, the minute she knew she had a choice. Or what? And then she said, yeah, but I still can't get out, because here's the blame and shaming bit, right? Victim. I still can't get out. I said, okay, well, why don't you get a sitter? Get somebody to come and be with him. And in the evening, when you go and see a movie with a friend, oh, I've got no money. Okay, so how could you get money? Oh, I don't know. I said, well, you talked about ironing. How about you do someone else's ironing? And then the money that you get from that, you go, oh yeah, I could do that. This woman's life completely changed. And do you know what? The change in her husband was huge because she was happier. That had a ripple effect on him. So in the end, she chose to stay, but she still took action. She did different things. And she chose to still look after him. But the way she looked at it was different. And hindsight's a great thing. We can all look back and go, oh yes, well, because I did this, it became that. But we don't know that when we're in the mung of it. Every client that comes and sees me, do you know what they all want? A crystal ball. They want me to tell them that the future is certain. And it just isn't. I went to the Mind, Body, Spirit thing on Friday. There were about 40 psychics lined up with people every half hour paying $50. And it was just chop. And I just looked at that and I thought, people are searching for certainty. But actually, that's the exciting part of life. Imagine if you knew you were going to get knocked down by a bus next week. But we only want to know the good parts. We don't want to know the terrible things that are going to happen. But if we can turn that fear into excitement and say, wow, I've got a new day. What am I going to do with this new day? And look, it's hard. I get up in the morning, I look at the new day, and what am I going to do with this new day? And I go, oh. I'm not for a minute saying it's easy. But when we can start thinking in a different way, and we can start to retrain those pathways in the brain that have been there for 40 odd years, and start letting them grow, almost like become clouded, and start forging new pathways that then become the new good habits where we start to get a good positive thing and feel good about ourselves, you then end up in this positive spiral and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And you'll get a wee day where you go, oh, but you're not away down there. You're only down a wee bit enough that you can say, right, I'm going to have a rest today and that's okay, and tomorrow I'm going to push myself back up again. Some of the things around what you can do, none of this is rocket science, you've all heard it before, but the reason I'm saying it is because I know it works, because I've done them all. One is get involved in something bigger than yourself. Go and volunteer or join a group of some sort. I mean, you've all made the effort to come tonight. That's great. That's step one. The people that didn't come tonight they didn't make that decision that today they were ready to change. Today they were ready to put themselves first for once. And even if I feel rotten, I'm going to do it, you know. One thing that I share is when you don't, like become a robot. Because if we take the emotion out of everything, like I said before about feelings, you know, I don't feel like doing it, I don't feel like doing it, I can't be bothered doing it. And then with the feelings rule our life. But if you think of a robot, it's programmed. And it only does what it's programmed to do. So if we could do the same and go, okay, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get up and I'm just going to put on the shoes and have everything laid out and I'm just going to walk out the door and I'm going to go and do that run or whatever it is that you have to do. Then you come back, then you can think about it, because then you'll be saying, oh my God, I'm so pleased I did that. I could have still been lying in bed, feeling miserable. And then it makes the day harder and harder and harder.